Evening. It is I, Roncar. It is my pleasure to be with you in this evening. The medium gave her meditation, which deals with the creation of everything that there is. She didn't take you through it all, of course, because it is much more involved, and she simplified it. God not only created the heaven and the earth and put life upon it, He created us. And He created other life forms. Each life form in its own way has its own way of acting and being, which is special to each type of animal, insect, bird, and form that is taken upon the earth. And with each animal, insect, bird form, there is a certain set of ethics, if you wish. In other words, each animal has been imbued with a way of behaving which is perfect for his life. In most, this way of behaving involves the death of other living things. Except for the herbivores, who mostly exist on grasses and plants, and rarely pull these plants from their roots, causing the plants to die. Most every other animal, bird, and even the insects can cause the death of other things. And so some people are disturbed by the fact that they eat meat and that humans kill fishes, kill animals, kill birds for their own sustenance. And they do not like to see that any life is ended. But each life, many lives, have death as the destination that all must pass through. Through the transformation of death, the individual is once again transformed back into its essential energy and spends its time within, I will say, the space continuum as energy, as spirit. Even the animals transform back into a spirit. There are animal spirits for each species. And a rabbit transforms into his rabbit species, a cat into his cat, a dog into his mover dog, a prairie dog into a prairie dog. And so the energy of these animals is still contained and not lost to the earth. And they come back in their own cycles of rebirth. Not perhaps as humans do, for humans do have a destiny and a need to grow and change, for only among humans is there choice. Yes, animals have choice. The lion will choose which one of his prey that he will take. And he will leave others behind and eat and feast on only what he needs, leaving the carcass for other animals to devour and for the insects, for he feeds everybody. And it is important to see this. But only humans have a choice of how they live. All the animals live on instinct. They are within their bodies, within their genes. And so lions become lions, and tigers become tigers. Trees have very little choice in anything they do. Insects will continue to crawl, devour what is found in the earth, from the grasses, rotting weeds. These are all food. They have all been transformed into the essence that others need, and others feed upon them, and life continues. And so it's important to understand when I say that humans have more choice, for our lives are not limited to the process of growing food, killing food, ingesting food. There is much more time, particularly as the world has changed and people have evolved. And so spirit also evolved and was once again able to access the wisdom and knowledge of God. This is found within you, within your spirit. And when you pass and you transition, there will be nothing left but your spirit, which will weigh itself upon its life. Look at the life that it's led, and in a sense, contemplate what needs to be done to make the life on earth more successful for all. And when I say that for all, I mean for every plant, every animal, every rock, every insect, every aspect of life. And it is just something for you to contemplate as you go through your own life. For when you achieve that happiness of being within your life, that you are contented and happy, and you create happiness, goodness, prosperity, love for others, then you have achieved what you are seeking to do, and you will have found your oneness with God. Is there any question on what I have spoken in this evening? And otherwise, I will take any questions at all and seek to answer them for you.
I have a question
Yes.
about, this is, I think I know the answer, but, you know, we say that animals can go back to their over spirit in spirit. What happens to extinct species? They have a specific spirit. So at this point in time, I don't think, and I don't know, are there dinosaur spirits out there that are in the dinosaur over spirit waiting to incarnate again, or have they been transposed into another type of animal?
They have transposed was almost the correct word. I would say evolved into another type of animal. the spirit was not lost, but certainly they did change shape and form and what they do. To a certain extent, you can say it is evolution, because that which once might have been a large, deadly type of animal may become much smaller and not as much threat to other animals, eating mostly insects and seeds and fruits. And so, in a sense, they have evolved along the same lines as a human being who has changed from what he first was.
Yes, I've heard that. So, for example, well, you could say that the spirit has adapted to the current environment. I think
Yes.
I believe that chickens and birds were actually dinosaurs. This is what I've heard from other.
Science has concluded that the genetics, the DNA that they find within dinosaurs are very compatible with those that are found in birds.
And some professional wrestlers used to be the meat eaters, but I guess I don't think that's been proven.
I think you are joking.
Of course.
Of course. And I see there was a question also from Karen Davis.
I thought about it this past week about how my words are God's words, and that's really sobering. And it has made a difference. I came upon a situation where I remembered to be still and know that I am God, and to not argue with someone when it wouldn't do any good. But I do wonder how these work together, divine intelligence and my personality and my soul. In some ways, I feel like my personality and my soul are riding on a dolphin that's God, and the dolphin is showing me the way. And I have choices about how I act on the ride on that dolphin. That's the only thing that's come to me tonight. I believe the Holy Spirit is with me all the time and informs me. And so I am thinking that to the extent that I surrender myself to divine intelligence, that it will act through me under the guise of my physical being and my personality.
You are fine. You are working it out very nicely within your own context. When we say that you and God are one, and I am God and one, it is because the vibration of our beings, the essential stuff we are made of, is God. So you cannot be separated from God, because he is everywhere, contained within every molecule and cell that exists in the universes. And you notice I put that in the plural. For there are many universes with life. And so you cannot be separated from God, because he is part of you and you are part of him.
Okay.
And so all his intelligence and his wisdom is available to you. and you were already at the spot where you stopped. It was no sense to argue with someone who could not understand what you were saying, could not benefit from your words. And so you stopped and you merely loved him. You
And that
allowed
person
him
is
to
also
be.
God.
Excuse me?
That person is also God.
Yes. And so you did the right thing because, as you said, it did not help. And what you need to do in your life is to sow love and happiness and to experience those things within your life. And as you give love and happiness and understanding to others, so it is that you will find that they also grow. And you change and you will enjoy your life more because it just has more meaning to you to not argue with someone who knows a different aspect of something than you do, and maybe has a different understanding because he has a different way of thinking. And so you were talking perhaps apples to oranges and could not come to an agreement because you were not talking about the same thing and the same understanding. And so wisdom prevailed, and you allowed the conversation to cease or to change and move on to something different, and perhaps have a different relationship, which is better, more understanding. These things are what happens to you as you realize that your words are God's words, or you have God's wisdom within you. And yes, so does the person you were talking to. Everyone has it, but not everyone uses it at all times. Not everyone is there. So they may be coming from a different viewpoint, but eventually they will reach what is best for them.
Thank you, Roncar.
You're welcome. And thank you for your question, because it was an excellent question. And I am so happy to hear of your realization that your words are God's words, because they are. Are there other questions? Please speak up if you have a question.
Hello. I know you're saying that we are the same substance as God and we have his access to his intelligence or knowledge or whatever.
Yes?
Then why aren't we able to like access it instantly and access it whenever we want? And why do we feel like we're not God? Even if we are made of the same substance, our thinking doesn't seem to match.
I understand what you mean, and why is there separation? That is because separation is inevitable within the body of the human being. That part, every human is two aspects. One is spirit, and the other is the material and the physical. And the physical has a definite definition, has edges, it has points of reference and points of feeling that are developed to keep you as a whole with a that separate you from everyone else, that make you distinctive and distant. That is what you call your ego. And it is that which keeps you separate. And it is essential to maintain your life. You in the body form. If you had no ego keeping you healthy and strong, you might step in front of an automobile, get trampled by an elephant. You would not recognize danger when it was coming to you. You have to have an ego to keep you alive in your physical body, so to speak. And that is what the brain within the physical body both allows us to know and understand things, as well as block us from knowing and understanding other things. So, yes, if you go within, if you are in the habit of meditation and and quickly move to a point of oneness with God, quietness, looking for the solution and the answer, it will come to you. And so that is the way in which you have the wisdom of God. It is, so to speak, hidden, because it is not in your brain. And you have to draw it into yourself or draw it up from yourself, however you would like to think of it, in order to get the answers that you seek. Does this make any sense to you?
I think so.
It is a complicated process, but because you are in the physical may be made up of the substance of God's being. It is all the same energy, but it all vibrates at different rates. You know that to be true. It tells you that in your science classes, that the cells, they're all different. And that's what differentiates between something that is wood and something that is metal, something that is alive and something that is dead, something that is a cloth, so to speak, which is different from a nail made out of metal. There is a difference between all things based on composition within the physical world. So it makes sense that we each should have some way to be separate from each other. Now, what makes it even more complicated is that when you move into spirit, those boundaries are gone. The physical boundaries that separate you from others are gone. And so your ability to be one with others increases and grows. And you are comfortable with that, which at the moment may sound confusing, because how could you maintain your identity? How could you continue to be who you are and not what I am or what the medium is? How does the medium channel? How does she allow me to use her body? How do I use her body but not become her? I am me. It is all very confusing, but it works itself out in spirit. Do you have an additional question?
Well, actually, you mentioned ego before. You're saying that it's a survival thing, and I guess it helps us get along in this world. But then, is that the same ego we're talking about when we say, "Oh, somebody's on an ego trip" or something, or they're, you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. It is the same ego. The ego is important, but sometimes it can be a hindrance because of the way it has been shaped in the physical by the upbringing it received from the parents, the information it has received from family members and friends, teachers. There are millions of influences in each individual's life. And sometimes these influences do not help, they hinder and make it more difficult for the person to survive within the universe or within the world. And that is not its purpose, but once it has been distorted, it often makes life difficult for people. And so when someone is on an ego trip, that's when they are talking about or being what they think is best for themselves better than other people, I believe, is what it means.
Is there any way we could, since we're all brought up in crazy ways anyway, is there any way we can recognize, when it's the wrong side of the ego, so to speak? And what's the difference?
To be honest, I would not worry about your ego so much as to simply think about how to make your life as good as possible, how to make yourself happy. And when your ego is there, it simply separates you into an individual that is known as Donna. And Donna has special talents and abilities and her own set of knowledge. She is an individual who is different from other individuals. And it is good that she is as she is, because each person, through their own individuality, contributes to the, well, we hope, the wellness and good things of the whole. Do you know and understand what I am saying?
Yeah, I just didn't know whether, I don't know, it's hard to figure out sometimes whether your instinct to do something or take over something or I don't know, boss somebody around or things like that. Is this what I'm supposed to be doing, or is this some kind of ego thing that's the wrong side of the ego doing it? It's hard to figure out.
You can judge these things fairly easily by asking if it is helpful or not. There are many times when directing people to do thus and so, while it is the correct answer, it's not always helpful to the other person, and it would harm your relationship. So you have to let people be as they are many times. You can gently try to help them. If they don't want your help, it is time not to help them. So you can just look at whether something is good, whether it makes life better and easier, or whether it's going to make life harder. If it's going to make life harder, perhaps you should consider not taking that action or not saying those words. They are not helpful. And you want to have a happy life, and they will not contribute to that happiness, but leave you perhaps unhappy. Maybe not. It could be neutral for you. You see, many things, if you think about it, many things can be judged to be good, not good, and neutral. Most of your life should be composed of good and neutral things that are neither good nor bad. And when you create a life that is filled with good things and things that do not hurt you, harm you, they are neither good nor bad, they are neutral, your life is peaceful. And it tends to be happy and contented.
All right. I was thinking of times when you do something or tell somebody something that is the right thing to do, but they just don't like it. So, I mean, if you know their personality is screwed up or whatever, and not going to do what what is right to do, and they technically know what's right to do, but they ain't going to do it anyway. What do you do I mean, should you just say something or should you not say something then?
Now you have to figure it out. I hate to give you that lack of direction, but that's what it means to grow, to be able to see these things. Now you can always say to someone, can I give you a suggestion that might make this easier for you? And if they give you a dirty look, then maybe you don't do that.
Okay.
If they say, what else? What do you suggest? Then feel free to make the suggestion.
Okay.
It's simple to ask them rather than to just offer to give advice, or to give advice unsolicited and unasked and unwanted.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
So how do you know that, like, now, like, for example, like, how do I know that I'm a spirit of something other than human before I came into the human body? Because I always wonder.
Sorry, I do not understand your question. I need to try to explain it again.
So
How do
if,
you know what?
like, I'm here now in human form, how
Yes.
do I know that I wasn't something else before human and now my spirit is into the human body? Because I've always felt disconnected with this world. Like, I always felt like I was something other than, like, I feel like I belong here. I belonged somewhere else. So I don't know if it's a past life or if I was something else before this life.
Well, you were something else before this life. That is true. It is simply the way it is as we've come into lives, many lives, different forms from time to time. We've come as male and female. And so you have been in a different life and in a different way. Now, if you're speaking of having been a cat or a dog, or a prairie dog or a rat or some animal, a horse maybe.
I think it's something connected to the light, but I don't know what it is because I need to be in direct light all the time. And, like, I have a lot of weird elements that doctors can't explain that have, like, it's like a scientific thing that there's just no explanation. I need to be in light all the time. I can't be in clouds. I can't be in rain. I can't be in shade. Like,
You do not like these things.
it reacts to me in very odd ways. Like, I get very strange reactions to them. It's not like I don't like them, but very strange things happen that can't be explained. And, like, I don't know, like, I feel very powerful in the light, like in the sun. But then when, like, it rains, I get severely ill. And, like, I'm a fire and earth sign for my moon and sun sign. And I know that in the winter time, I feel like death because all the flowers are dead, the grass is dead, the trees are dead, and there's no sun or heat. And I connect, like, I come to life with the sun, I come to life with the trees, and it's very hard to explain.
Well, the truth is, the sun is empowering for everyone. Perhaps you are just more sensitive to a need for more light, so that wintertime is extremely difficult for you and your body. You are not being able to absorb the proper amounts of light from the sun. there are many people who have this problem. It's called a seasonal effect, and it often reflects in the darker hours, the winter times. These people often become depressed and unhappy and can be more subject to illness because they are depressed and unhappy. And it is because they do not have their source of power, which is the sun. So this is normal for all of us. Now, it is difficult for you, apparently, because you have some extreme reactions to the situations and when you are deprived of sunlight. So for you, it may be helpful at some time to purchase, have, or go to a residence in the southern hemisphere so that you can have all the light you need yearly, or just go live further south where you are nearer the equator. So just go to Mexico to live. And that way you will have a more even power source from the sun because you are near the equator and you will not get the extreme differences. So you will probably be healthier and happier if you were to move to that area.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely something to consider.
Yes.
Thanks.
I realize it is not as easy as that. You may not want to be in a country which speaks a different language that you would have to learn, but there are other languages. English is often spoken in many places, and it is just up to you if you can do that and do it in a way that makes you happy, then it may improve your health.
Okay, I'll definitely consider that.
You're
Thanks.
most welcome. Are there other questions?
I have a guest attending for the first time. Her name is Ginny. And I'm hoping that Ginny now will ask a question about her son, Gary. And Ginny, if you can unmute, feel free to ask your question of Roncar. I hope there she is.
Hi. Yeah, here I am. Hello.
You have put her on the spot.
Yes, she did, because I've been listening, and I feel that I'm going through a new phase in my life, and I have my own doubts and fears at the moment, and I am desperately trying to find my bit of happiness at this last chapter of my life. So having said that, I have concerns about my son at the moment. He internalizes way too many things. His first reaction is to give up, walk away. And I've told him his whole life, please don't. And then yet he can still do great achievements, but he always starts with that first reaction of, I need to get out of this. And I can't tell him what to do. He's a grown man now. But as a mother, it hurts my soul because I can't do anything to help him with that anymore. I can just be there to listen and try my best to give him some advice. So I guess I'm finding out that, my flaws could be bouncing off on him, and I don't want to do that.
Well, it is too late for you to change many things. And,
Yes.
and it is important to just acknowledge him as the adult male that he is, and to give him more confidence, which he obviously has not received through his growing up years. There were no things which confirmed his abilities, And so he tended to be overwhelmed by his unable to, his being unable to be successful in many circumstances, especially when it comes to people who choose to dominate him, which, if you think about it, is how you are acting in many ways. So without realizing it, you are triggering the response within him. And so my suggestion for you as his mother, who loves him terribly or wonderfully, that you work more at confirming his ability to deal with anything that comes his way. If he confides in you and tells you about a time or an event that did not, that he did his typical behavior where he walked away from it, say, well, I guess you did what you thought was best, confirming his ability to make a good decision. But I know you could have been successful in the situation. You could have handled it in a different way, but you did what you thought was best. And I just want to support you in your decision. And do that consistently when given the opportunity. Support his decisions, even if you think they were wrong, because he needs to have confidence in his ability to make the right decisions. And so after you support him in a decision, whether it is the right decision or the wrong decision, then you can also try to I don't want to say gently persuade. I think you just need to leave it there. At the current time, that is the best treatment that you can give to your son, is to confirm your support for whatever he does, to say that he is capable, that he made a good decision in this case, but if he wants to revisit the decision and change his mind and take different actions, you can understand that he would like to do that. And leave it at that. Do not suggest anything else, because he needs to grow in confidence. He feels overwhelmed. There could be some way in which in the past you or others who were around him had this behavior, and he is emulating this behavior in some way. And it is possible that it can be overcome by simply giving him your support. Otherwise, it is extremely difficult. And as his mother, who loves him for exactly as he is, the perfect son that you always wanted, confirm that in him now. Try to give him that confidence in his ability. Well, I know you'll think about what you need to do now, can be your phrase. And I know that you will make the right decisions and take the right actions, which will bring you success. To say those type of phrases to him is what he needs to hear. You cannot tell him, do not react like that. That is not helpful. He needs to be told that he is perfect and his reaction is just fine with you. And that you know that if he wants to change his mind and take different actions and react in a different way, you would also support him. But you have to wait till the right time to give him that information. It can't be fed to him all at once, because it will sound too much like you are criticizing his behavior. So you need to let it be. Just confirm your support for his decision and that you love him. And you hope that all is well.
Thank you very much.
I hope it is helpful. Just start with that amount in the beginning. And then later on, if you'd like to come back for more information after you have boosted his confidence a bit, we will work on having what you can help him do next.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there other questions?
I have a question for you,
Yes.
Roncar. This is more of a observation. So I know there's not much we can do with this picture, but as we see what's going on in the big picture, the global picture, our brief encounters with China, that's getting very close. And I think I know the answer to this, but I'm looking for you. Inside of ourselves every day. That's the part where inside of ourselves every day, because we really can't change all of that. The meditation, the morning meditation, the on one with spirit and God at night, is that the best we can do? The best we can do to
To
send
help bring
positive
about
energy.
peace?
Well, I don't think there's anything as I don't believe that there will ever be peace as long as one person has one more thing than somebody else wants. But we that's a different conversation. And right now, it's out of our hands. But I guess I'm saying probably go with inside and keep your close distance to your higher sources and just send the good energy. The only way you could have peace is if everybody's neutralized, and that probably won't happen as long as one person has one more stone than another.
Probably
But I do.
you are
Yeah.
wrong, but that is beside the point. Because
Okay.
could
Educate
easily
me, because
become
I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you.
there easily could become a time when noticing that I have one more stone than you, I might just give you my extra stone. And then you would have one more than me. But I had given it to you, so I would not miss it. Yes, there are things that you can do, and it is in your individual life that you will create as much peace in your own life as you can. So you avoid getting angry with other people. And basically create peace among all the people you know to the best of your ability, so that you are peaceful. And perhaps you can help others to be peaceful, which would be a good thing, but it's not always possible to help others. So it comes into one of those situations we discussed before, where you can make a suggestion, but somebody might not want to take it, and you can just send them love. So love as many people as you can. Create peace with as many people in all your relationships. Make sure they are on a peaceful setting. And this adds to the general level of peace in the world. And you may, through those actions, influence someone else to become more peaceful in their own lives. They may say, "Why are you happy?" Well, because I made peace with everyone. And I created peace in my life. And peace in my life means that there's more peace in this world. And I hope you are at peace and peaceful. And you may be able to influence someone else to be more peaceful. And they may influence someone else to be more peaceful. And so peace can spread in that way because we choose to be nice to one another. We choose to get along. We choose not to fight. In a sense, your friend Ginny's son is choosing to run away and move away from conflicted situations because he feels it is too much for him to deal with. But apparently he comes back to deal with them in some way. Maybe not the best way, but he makes an effort. Maybe he does not. But his first instinct is to run away from difficult situations. Perhaps in his own way, he is trying to create peace in his life. For the time being, it is more important for her to just support him in whatever his decisions are, so that he becomes more confident of himself and he knows he has her support and love. If she criticizes him or tells him he should do something different, that sounds rejecting. And so these types of behaviors which nurture and help other people, as well as bring about peace in your life, will help to increase peace in the world. And when everyone is more peaceful, they will find themselves getting along. And certainly on the national level, they will experience greater peace among nations, because there will be an element of trust among nations. You have had many years with certain amounts of trust, not as much hostility. There was some peace. It is unfortunate that it seems to be moving in a different direction right now, but the laws of the universe, it's the swing of the pendulum, and it tends to move from peace to less peace, less harmony. But that can be reversed and brought back to more peace and more harmony, depending upon where we think and what we do. I know you are saying that in your own way when you were talking about your morning meditation and being one with God at night. That is your way of creating peace in your life and by extension, peace in the world. And that is true. It is always what you do in your life that is the most determinant factor of peace. Are there other questions?
I have one other thing, and my friend Ginny, what she did not tell you, and this was going to be and I'm very close with her. I asked her to come tonight. Her son is in the military. Now, isn't that an interesting contributing factor based on everything you said? He is in the military, and he's getting ready to probably be shipped out somewhere. So I hope it's okay, Ginny, that I mentioned that, because everything Norma said would certainly say that he has confronted himself with certain things he needs to face. And I'll just leave it at that.
Well, all right, let me say something. What she doesn't know is, as other people in my position, sometimes it's hard to have been the mother and the father at the same time. So it's just, for example, when he was going for Eagle Scout, just before he was ready to get the Eagle, he wanted to quit. When he was getting ready for his black belt, he wanted to quit. And now he's in the military, and as somebody who was going to make a career, now he's having questions. So, yeah, I guess, and just it's funny that you said that, because as you were speaking and talking about what was on your mind, I just sent him a message telling him that I love him and support him, and no matter what he does. So I was typing that to him while you were talking. So, yeah,
And that-
that's just part of it.
And that is the right equation. No one was criticizing you as a parent. Yeah, these are just facts. They are not criticisms. And you see, in this instance, I believe you slightly took some of what I said as being a criticism, that it is difficult to be the mother and the father, was your reaction to it.
No, I don't take that at all. I'm on the contrary, I'm the one that's criticizing myself, because it's always great to say, now that I'm a lot older, oh gee, maybe I should have handled that one a little bit differently. But no, I totally understand what you said, and I'll always be there for no matter what he wants. Just, sometimes if you see somebody going down a path and you want to steer them in another direction, and there goes that ego that the other lady was talking about, and my ego takes over, I'll be the first to admit it. So, but no, I totally, Ann can tell you, I'm the first one to criticize me before anybody else, but thank you. I do appreciate that.
And let us stop criticizing yourself. Let us indulge in loving yourself and knowing that you are a perfect mother and a perfect father. You did the best that you could do. And so you desire no criticism for that, because you simply did the best that you could do. And so love yourself. Don't criticize yourself. Accept yourself. And so it is clear to me that your example in criticizing yourself and demanding the best behavior possible from yourself could have been part of the difficulty that he is facing within himself right now. It is not an easy decision to reverse your course on a pathway you chose for life, that now you think you did wrong. And you sent him the note, which sent your support. And that was excellent. So just love yourself. Know you did the best that you could, that you are a wonderful person because you make the effort to be as good as you could, as good as you can. And in that effort, you deserve to be congratulated, and you deserve to give yourself love. Not saying I wasn't good enough, I didn't do the best, maybe I did wrong. No, forget it. You did the best that you could. You were the best parent that you could be. And so you deserve, to be loved in every way and to enjoy and find love in your life, which I'm sure you will in the future.
Hello?
Are there other questions for me? Well,
I was just thinking about what she said about the world won't be good, and because somebody's always going to have one stone than somebody else.
it was not my speaking.
Yeah. I was thinking, but the basis of that would be greed, and everybody is, well, I can't say everybody isn't greedy, but I guess there got to be some people that aren't greedy. But I was thinking that once we learn to not care who has how many stones, then we should be happier.
That is
Then we'll be satisfied with what we got.
Absolutely. Be happy with what you have and know that it is enough. And it is enough.
Mhm.
Prosperity, what is prosperity? It's knowing that you have enough to meet your needs
Mhm.
and you have a good life, that you are happy, that you are healthy,
Oh,
that you are whole and complete in every way.
I had remembered a long time ago when I was a kid, I was in Florida and I went to this little girl's house and her grandmother was in there and she was singing away and she was doing somebody else's laundry and ironing. But when you went into the room, it was bare wood, hardly any furniture, and she had to stay on one side of the room because there's this giant hole in the ceiling where the water would come down through, I guess, when it rained. But she was happy. And I remember thinking, yet as a kid, oh, my mother would really be bitching if she had a hole in her ceiling, you know. But the point was she was happy and the kid was happy. So, I mean, she was barefoot, so was I, but she probably was barefoot because she didn't have any shoes. I was just barefoot because I like being barefoot.
Yes, that is very possible, and you are correct.
Mhm.
But enough money for someone is enough money. When you have enough, you do not need more. You maybe do not even want more if you are content with what you have.
Mhm.
And so that you can be happy with little. But you see many people who have, especially those who have inherited wealth, they are often not happy in their lives because they did not work for that wealth. They do not know what it is worth. And so they do not appreciate it. And
Yes, they don't appreciate it because they were taught that you're supposed to work for money.
perhaps not. We do not know how other people are taught or what they learn through the environment of those who are around them.
Mhm.
But they are often not happy because they have not worked, because they have not contributed, because they have not done good for other people in their life. For those who work are always serving other people.
Mhm.
And as they serve other people, there is happiness in helping other people.
True.
And those who do not realize that they are helping other people because they are fairly distant from the good result that they are actually creating, they do not know this. And so maybe they are not fulfilled in their job. And it would be good to have them fulfilled.
Oh, right. They don't see the other end of what they're doing.
Yes.
Yes, I see what you mean. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah,
Yes.
there's a lot of jobs that people are like that. Yeah.
Yes. If you are a file clerk and all you're doing is putting papers in order, you never know and realize how important it is to the person who has to find the special paper or the information that they need so they can do their job properly.
Yeah. True.
So a file clerk is very important, just as important as the president of the company.
True.
They just don't get paid as much.
For sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, it is getting late, so it is time for me to say goodnight. I hope you all have enjoyed this evening and gotten some messages or understanding that maybe helped you in your life. And I give you all my blessings. Good night.
We love you.
Hi, I'm back. Okay, well, it's the end of the evening, so it's even time for me to say goodnight. Remember, I love you all, and I'll see you next week. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Norma. Thank you very much. Good night. I love you.
Julia.